Hey everybody, welcome to Saving Greens Homestead. My name is Keisha, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I welcome you. You guys, I'm out here with my basket and my scissors. I brought you guys out here today because I am looking to harvest something quite unusual from my garden. Today, I am going to be harvesting some of these tomato leaves that I have growing out here. Now, my tomato leaf, my dried tomato leaf seasoning that I have is depleting. So before these plants are done with for the season, I want to try and collect as many of the healthy leaves as I can. So thought I'd bring you guys along to do this. First off, before I start picking all of these leaves and stuff, I wanted to show off my tomatoes that I have growing in here. There's a lot of tomatoes. Oh, there's one that's ready right back there. I'm gonna make sure I get him. But on all of my tomato plants, I still have tomatoes growing. And then you guys, I discovered when I was out here cleaning up this yard, I discovered that I have some more tomatoes growing that I didn't know existed. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna show you guys in a second, but there's just so many tomatoes on these tomato plants. Like, this is fall, and usually people are pulling out their tomato plants because the season is done and the plants are not doing so great anymore, but my tomato plants are doing pretty good still, so I'm still getting good production, which is great for me because my season didn't start off all that great, but here we are. And they're doing good. So, oh, I had another dahlia open up. That one's still in the process of opening. And then I got a bud over there that's opening. Look at all these tomatoes on these plants. On this one you can see all of them are like purpley. So, oh, and look over here. There's some hanging over here, which is really cool. But I wanted to show you guys, I discovered this on this bed that I've had now resting for about 2 seasons. I had put these containers up here, and I was growing tomatillos in them. And then look, I didn't plant anything in these this year because all these weeds, as you can see here, that was growing up out of these things. So I didn't even plant anything in them this season. And I guess some of the tomatillos that fell off inside the containers, the seeds sprouted. And so I have tomatillo plants coming out right here that I didn't even plant. So that's always nice. And it was a great surprise. Once I got all this stuff cleared out, I could see it better. And I have one other thing I want to show you, one other surprise. Okay, so yes, and my last surprise here that I wanted to show you is, once again, a tomato that I was not expecting. And I think what happened was I planted a tomato seedling in this container. It grew, and I didn't realize it grew because the plant leaned over here on the apple tree, and bam. Now there's tomatoes hanging right here that I wasn't even expecting to be there. And it wasn't until I cleaned up all of this stuff right here that I discovered that. So I am really happy about that. But look at this plant. This tomato plant is just wild and crazy. So I'm gonna go and grab my basket so that I could come back over here and just start harvesting some of these tomato leaves, because that is what I'm after for today. That is what I'm looking for, so I can dry these out. And for those of you who was told many times that tomato leaves and tomato plants are toxic, if you eat a whole lot of tomato leaves at one time, like over a pound of it at one time, then yeah, you'll get sick. But for the most part, tomato plants are very edible, and the fruit, the flowers, everything is all edible, all usable. I just love how these tomatoes, I was wondering how I was gonna harvest these tomatoes once they climbed over this trellis, and now I can see that the fruit just, you can see them all they grow through the bottom here, so it's easy to pick. I can easily get to these fruit. I never realized how easy that would be. I thought it was going to be difficult. I thought I was going to have to break out the ladder to climb over the top of this thing to harvest my tomatoes, but it's not going to have to happen that way. But anyways, as I was saying, there's other very good uses for the tomato plant itself, and I shared that information with you before in another video on my tomato leaf tea video in my Tea Tuesday playlist. So you can go there and learn some very interesting facts about tomato plants and leaves. I've already started harvesting some of these leaves, and I just wanted to jump back on here so I could show you which ones that I'm choosing and why I'm choosing them. So any of the leaves that are obviously old, like how this is old, and you can tell it feels papery and old, I leave those. Any that are diseased, like this is starting to show some disease on these right here, I don't get those. I try and pick some of the younger ones from the tips of the vines. So the young, healthy plants, like this one, I would probably take this one right here because it is healthy. Doesn't show any sign of disease or anything, no bugs. And that's how I've been selecting them. And then once I finish collecting them, then I'll take them inside the house and set them out on my countertop flat to dry, or I'll put them in my dehydrator if I want to do it a lot quicker and let them dry out that way, or you can put it in the oven and let it dry. So you can air dry them. Look at that kitty. You can air dry them, you can dry them in the oven, or you can dry them in a dehydrator. Either way is good, and it's completely up to you and what you are able to do. So I am going to collect just a few more of these, and then I am going to go inside so that I can get them started, so I can start the process of getting them dried out for seasoning. And then I'll show you what's left of the one that I still have, and I'll explain to you also some of the uses for dried or even fresh tomato leaves. So I'll see you guys inside. So I'm just going to give them a real good quick rinse, because as you can see on the edges there was some aphids on here. And then I'm going to just start layering them on these trays to put inside my dehydrator for them to dehydrate. So I'm just shaking them off And then just laying them out on here, like so. Okay, so I got them all layered and stacked in my dehydrator here. And so I'm gonna go on ahead and get this started, and it's not gonna take long. I'll probably run this dehydrator for the rest of the evening. Right now, the sun is starting to go down. You can see my boys over there waiting for me to come back out to water. And the sun is starting to go down, so most likely by tomorrow morning, these will all be dried out and ready to add to a container for future use. And this is all that I have left from last season's harvest that I did. And I had dried these out for tea, but then I discovered that they also taste very good dried on top of or mixed in like a dip or on top of rice or anything really that you would put dried herbs, like how you would use parsley pretty much. And if you're wondering what these leaves taste like, they taste like the way they smell. They have the same, like the way they smell when you're smelling them in your garden is the way that they taste. It's not a bad flavor. And you can use them fresh like this in soups, in sauces, things like that. So, and I've made tea with it. That's why I have that video, tomato leaf tea. So there's a lot of things that you could do when you harvest some of your tomato leaves. If you'd like to hear more information about the benefits of it, other uses, and also I believe on that video in the description, I have a recipe linked down in the description. Just go to my playlist and click on Tea Tuesday, and you'll see all the tea videos that I've made, including the tomato leaf tea, if you're curious about that. So I am gonna go outside with these guys sitting over here waiting on me and get to watering before it gets dark outside. I just wanted to bring you along real quick to show you that it's okay, that there's a resource that is highly underused. So anyways, thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something, maybe are inspired to try something new, something different. And that's gonna wrap it up for this video, and I will see you in the next video. And as always, God bless.